You guys, with you guys are working with the largest brands in the world, but as the world's moved towards e-commerce, right? And some of the brands are, let's leave Amazon out of this, but e-commerce is growing. A lot of e-commerce brands, the challenge is they think definitively lower funnel performance because they're an e-commerce store. And we work with, again, medium-sized e-commerce brands. And the challenge we have is telling them, you need to invest in your brand. You've got to make people, just because you're selling something, you have a price point immediately when you hit the store. I mean, are you guys dealing with many like straight line e-commerce brands? And whether you are or aren't, is that as big a challenge as it is for me every day?
Yeah, I would say that I'm starting to see the tune change a bit, especially as our thought leadership has gone out and it's getting socialized a bit more. But that's absolutely the case. And our media seller clients are coming to us with that same kind of help us prove this, help us show these, DR clients, direct response clients, that they should also be focused on upper funnel, because as both of you have said before, if you don't know about the brand, you can't be interested in it or want to buy it. So you have to get them into the funnel somehow before they can get down to a conversion.
And, that's exactly right. We worked with a couple of years ago, a supplement company that they had great products and they had done all the research and done all these things. And all they wanted to do was, sell protein at $30, a pound or something like that. And it was just, very straight line messaging towards the lower funnel or whatever. But it's like, there's 5 million protein powders out there. We've got to explain, beyond that yours tastes good, like why your company matters, It's like, it's so true. It's like, there's a lot of choice and options out there. You guys, how's the response been? You just mentioned it, Cara, to a degree, you're starting to turn heads, but is there feedback loop with the brands you're talking with around the study and around these notions in general?
Yeah, there's been a lot of excitement, and there's a mix of things that we're seeing. Sometimes there's the evangelist in the group who's like, so similar to you, Ryan, like, come on, like, I'm beating this drum, this is how it should be, and we come in and start to see some other heads turn and like, oh, maybe they're onto something interesting. And then there's some other groups where everybody maybe gets it and sees the value, but is a little gun shy on taking action around it. And, it's too soon to say if we've seen any major actions be taken, but we absolutely are seeing more interest in the measurement solutions that we have for full funnel, upper and lower, mid and lower funnel, so that we can help make the decisions for how to be investing in the channel mix going forward.
I love that. How do you guys, like, we didn't really talk about this, but like something like TikTok, like how does that fall? Like, I know the messaging could obviously be upper or lower or whatever you're going to argue, but like, how does a group like Nielsen look at TikTok?
Well, so TikTok is so I was thinking about this when you were talking about the explosion of different media channels that exist now. Because what I was thinking is how not we Nielsen, we as a world of humans like to bucket things so that they can make more sense to us, right? And so we say social. But if you go and you talk to Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, they will all tell you that they're all extremely unique in their own ways and like how they see themselves. And so TikTok sees themselves as an entertainment platform. And speaking as a user, I agree with that statement. And I think that TikTok is in an interesting space. And a lot of the competitors in the social digital entertainment space as well, because they have this opportunity for more native appearing content that's harder to tell that it's advertising. So I think that can be a double-edged sword, right? It can serve them well because then you have more engagement, but it is still important to make sure it's clear who the brand is and what it's for.
Do you guys have brands asking you about TikTok a lot? I mean, is it as on the radar for you guys as it seems to be growing mainstream?
Yes, absolutely. We have work for brands with TikTok. We work directly with TikTok. There's a lot that they want to be proving, that we want to help them prove, and a lot of brands are absolutely interested.
Cool. Yeah, so let's talk as we're kind of concluding here, guys. I think for a lot of people that might be listening, it's like, okay, I'm understanding the impacts here, but how the heck do I get at knowing what is the mix of these media that we're talking about, all these things? How do we guide people towards that, Cara?
Yeah. So there's some conventional wisdom out there about particular channels that are better at driving certain things. So some might say TV's great for broad reach, and so that's what I'm going to use to build my upper funnel. But what we have seen in our data is that it's not actually super predictable from campaign to campaign and message to message. So we looked at a case study where there was a client that ran studies in about 20 different markets, and across, I think it was like the top quarter of them, TV was the most effective medium, but then across the bottom quarter of them, it was the least effective medium. So it is just very unpredictable. And so we really drive home the importance of measurement no matter what, and letting the data speak for itself and letting campaign performance inform the future decisions that you're going to make, as opposed to just making broad assumptions. And as Imran alluded to before, Nielsen happens to have measurement across the whole funnel. So, we've got what is needed in order to give those tools to advertisers and agencies to make the most of their channel mix.
I'd add one more thing to that, which is that we see a lot of brands now who have overindulged in the lower funnel, forgotten about the upper funnel, and they're saying, we made a mistake. And I think that that's really illuminating, because what it's telling us is if you had the right channel mix for upper funnel and lower funnel kind of accidentally, they were the same, then you wouldn't have brands saying that, right? So what it's actually showing us, and the data shows us, is that there is a particular channel mix for a particular campaign, a particular brand that is optimal for producing sales. And it may not be the same as the channel mix that is optimal for producing awareness and consideration. And so this is, I think, one of the most fundamental challenges that, every time we talk to brands about this is the message we leave them with, is you have to walk and chew gum at the same time. We know it looks like a conflict of interest, that you might have certain priorities of channels you want to pick for upper funnel marketing and a different mix that's right for lower funnel marketing. But you got to do both, right? You've got to have the hybrid plan that gets you into the best place for both. And by the way, if you could do one and accidentally trip your way into automatically optimizing for the other, you wouldn't see these examples of brands that came forward and said, we messed up.
I love that. And I love, Cara, you pointing out that, TV is not always the answer, but sometimes is, depending on the brand. And it goes to what we preach all the time is you've got to have iteration today. You've got to have measurement and iteration. It's read and react. And the only way to do that is to, have your eyes forward and be reporting that's telling you what's working and what's not. And then you've got to alter course. And sometimes it's just the days of the 30-second TV spot and the NBC media buy are kind of over. I hate it. That might be part of it, but it's just not wash your hands, right?
There's a lot more complexity out there now, so we need more tools to help us make the best decisions, for sure.
I love it.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, check out one of these other clips for all the latest tips and insights. We'll see you next time.